What's going on, Slay Bays? It's your girl Ashley and welcome back to the channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be talking about the brand new Morphe Fluidity line. Now, if you guys didn't know, Morphe recently dropped 60 different foundation shades. They launched some concealers, powders, and also a little Fluidity brush kit with 2 brushes and a makeup sponge. So I'm really excited. I went over to the Morphe store in International Mall and I picked up some goodies in my bag, and I'm just stoked to put everything on and let you guys know my honest thoughts and my honest feedback. Now, keep in mind this will be a wear test video, but it's not going to be your typical wear test where I wear it for one day and then I come on here and let you guys know my thoughts at the end of the day. I'm going to do that, but I'm going to do it for a couple of days because sometimes I feel like foundations can perform differently depending on how you set them, how you prime them, and things like that. So I really want to give this foundation a fair shot and let you guys know how it performs under different circumstances. So make sure you guys give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, click that bell so that way you guys are notified every time I upload, which is 2 times a week, every single week. I upload every Tuesday and Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and y'all don't want to miss out on the fun. So with that, let's go ahead and hop right into the nitty gritty. Wait. You guys mean to tell me that you're already like a minute into the video and you haven't pressed the thumbs up button yet? Anyways, I am going to jump into primer. Now, Morphe did launch a primer alongside their Fluidity foundation. I personally didn't pick the primer up just because I do have so many primers within my collection, and I personally just know what works best with my skin. So I do have a primer that I'm going to use in today's video by Collab. These are our brand new primer and skin boosters. I talked about this in one of my previous videos. I absolutely love it. We actually have 2 different primers. This one is Chill Pill and this one is Pep Talk. Now, Pep Talk is really going to help brighten and tone the skin, whereas Chill Pill is really going to help soothe and balance. So I'm actually going to go in with Chill Pill simply because my skin needs a little soothing, it needs to be balanced, and I also love the scent within this primer. It's infused with vanilla and also lavender. It literally smells so good. It's more like a faint scent. It's nothing too strong, but I'm just obsessed with the way that it makes my skin feel. So I'm going to put a little bit of this on my face. Skin's primed. We're now going to get into the foundation. Now, this is the box packaging right here. Very typical Morphe packaging. Now, when you flip it down, it does have the shade name right here. I was color matched to the shade F2.20. Now, before I get into my shade and the specs on the foundation, I do want to note that there are 60 different foundation shades in the line, which is really cool. They also have 4 different undertones, so they have cool, neutral, warm, and olive. Typically, whenever brands come out with foundations, I feel like they always leave out the olive undertones, so I really respect the fact that they did include a lot of different olive undertones within this line. I was matched to a neutral undertone, which is a little strange because typically I don't gravitate towards neutral undertones. I typically gravitate more towards warm, but neutral was the best match for me in store. I'm going to read some specs on the back of the packaging. It says that this is a 24-hour long-wearing foundation. It's sweat-proof, transfer resistant, water resistant, it's free of oils, fragrance, and parabens, and it's great for all skin types. Now, it's kind of alarming that it says great for all skin types because I did hear from the girl in the Morphe store that this is an extremely full coverage matte foundation. So when I think that, I don't think that it would be good for someone with dry skin, but that's me personally. So I'm really interested to see how this is going to work on all different skin types. For me personally, I do have pretty normal skin. I get oily down my T-zone, but I'm pretty normal all the way throughout, if that helps you guys at all. So with that, we're gonna go ahead and get into foundation application, which is the most satisfying part, let's be real. So this right here is what the bottle looks like when you take it out of the box. It is one of those squeeze out tube foundations. Now, not a deal breaker. I personally don't mind it. If it reminds me of anything, it definitely reminds me of the Make Up For Ever matte velvet skin packaging. As you can see, they are very similar. The Morphe one has more of a matte feel to it, whereas this one kind of has that glossy feel right in the center. It also reminds me of the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Foundation foundation. As you can see, the packaging is very, very similar. So those are just my comparisons to other foundations on the market. It says you get 1 fluid ounce with this foundation, which is pretty standard. If I look at the fluid ounces on the Makeup Forever one, you do also get 1 fluid ounce, and then with the L'Oreal foundation, you also get 1 fluid ounce. For foundation application, I'm going to split my face right down the middle. So on one side, I will use a beauty sponge. I'm going to use this one from Wet n Wild, super inexpensive and awesome quality. And then on the other side, I'm actually going to use the Fluidity brush and sponge trio, which is right here. Now this did launch with the Fluidity products within the line, and pretty much what you get is you get a M439 deluxe buffer brush, a M173 mini buffer brush, and a complexion blending beauty sponge, which is a new sponge for Morphe. I'm really excited to test and try this out. I'm gonna give the foundation a little bit of a shake, and then I'm gonna start working on the left side. Again, I will just be using a sponge to buff and blend out the foundation. Now I'm just gonna take my finger and I'm just gonna do little dots all over. Now typically I will use a brush for this, but I don't have one on hand, so I'm just gonna use my finger to really place the foundation on one side. So you can definitely see that the foundation looks like it's going to be a really awesome match for me. So I'm going to take the sponge and I'm going to start pressing it right here into the skin. Ooh, coverage come through. You guys know I live for a good full coverage foundation. Like I'm not even gonna fake the funk. Do you guys see what my skin looks like right now? Holy moly. So this is one layer of the foundation. Let me just say, full on coverage. Like it literally covered every nook and cranny, every blemish. Like I have no redness, no imperfections at all, and I am blown away. The application with the sponge went on so incredible, so smooth. Now normally I will go in with like an additional layer, but I don't even feel like I need an additional layer, and I don't really want to like cake it on. Like I want it to be like full coverage without it being too heavy. So I think one layer of the foundation is all I really need personally. So I'm going to give this time to set and dry down, and while I do that, I'm going to work on the other side, and for the other side, I will be using a brush. I'm going to use the M439 by Morphe. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to dot the foundation onto the skin, and once I have the foundation on, I'm going to buff and blend it out with a brush. I'm going to spritz my brush with a little bit of Fix Plus because that's typically what I do whenever I use a brush. I will say I'm not the biggest fan of how this applied with a brush. I don't know. Sometimes I just feel like applying things with a sponge just gives you more of like an airbrush finish, and I don't feel like I got like that like airbrush feel on this side as much as I did over here. What I'm doing right now is I'm just taking the sponge and I'm just patting it onto my skin to really get more of like that airbrush effect that I have over here on this side. But I will say coverage is the same. Like it was just a little bit streaky with the brush, and typically I'm not a huge fan of applying my foundation with a brush anyways, but I really just wanted to show you guys that demo with a brush. So far, I think the coverage is full Wago. It still is like a little bit wet on the skin, so I'm gonna wait for it to completely dry down. But before I do that, I do want to test it for flash, see if it has any flashback whatsoever. And I am gonna use this camera right here. So I did take a couple of pictures, and based on these images, the foundation doesn't have any flashback to it whatsoever. My eyelids look a little dry, but this video isn't about my eyelids, it's about the foundation. So I think so far, so good, no flashback whatsoever. I'm gonna move on to concealer. So this is a concealer right here. It's said to be a full coverage concealer, and I picked mine up in the shade C1.55. So I'm just gonna go in with a little bit of concealer. Now this is what the wand looks like right here. It is just a pretty standard flat wand, nothing too crazy. So I'm gonna take this and I'm just going to put it directly underneath my eye. I'm gonna try not to put that much because y'all know I can go ham with the concealer. Like I really can, and I'm actually gonna blend out one eye at a time. I'm gonna take this sponge right here, which came in the Fluidity set, and I'm just going to use it to buff and blend out the concealer. Oh my god, this is like full coverage, and I actually do really like the color I chose. It's not too warm, it's also not too pink. It's like the perfect color. whatever's left on the sponge, I'm just gonna kind of pounce it on my eye and really just bring the concealer all the way out. Ooh, I feel like that really just like brightened everything up. So I will say the concealer blended out very, very nicely. It is really, really good coverage as well. It's a thicker concealer, so it's not very liquidy or watery or anything like that. I'm gonna do the same thing over here on this side as well. I will also say that I feel like the concealer dries pretty quickly, so definitely work fast or do one eye, blend it out, and then do the other eye, just so that way you don't have any hiccups. So I will definitely say that upon application, the concealer was a little bit more on the bright side, but once I blended it out and I gave it time to kind of set down, it really just blended so nicely in with the foundation. Like, I don't look like I have stark white under eyes at all on this side, whereas this side, it needs like a little bit more time to set and settle in, but so far, I'm pretty impressed. I'm just gonna take a dab of this and put it on my chin and forehead, just to kind of balance things out a little bit more, because right now they're looking a little strange. If I'm looking really up close and personal, I will definitely say that my under eyes look a little dry, but I'm gonna ignore that and I'm gonna keep it moving. I'm gonna keep it going with my regular loose setting powder underneath the eyes, which is the Set the Stage Ultra Fine Loose Powder by Collab. So I'm gonna take a little bit of this and just pop it underneath the eyes to set everything down and in place. Now that my under eye concealer is set with some loose powder, I'm gonna go in with some finishing powder. Now Morphe dropped 15 different finishing powders. I have mine in the shade Filter 3, which does come off a little bit light, I'm not going to lie, but I'm gonna take it on a E52 brush and I'm going to just set my entire face down and in place. And this is meant to be more so a sheer powder. That's what one of the Morphe girls told me in store. So it's not meant to add any additional coverage. It's really just meant to act as a very thin layer of powder over the skin. So this is what the face looks like with a little bit of finishing powder directly over top. I actually want to go in with another photo, like a flash photo, to see if the powder has any flashback at all, to see if it changed any from when I originally took the photo with just foundation. So with the flash on, I will definitely say that the powder made my face look really, really white. There was definitely some flashback in comparison to my neck. Like, there's definitely a big difference. So I would definitely skip out on the powder if you guys are going to be taking flash photography or anything like that. Definitely like not a game changer if you guys aren't going to be taking like photos at night with a flash. So that's that. I do want to spritz my face with the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist to see if I can get this to be a lot less powdery, so let's do that. Woo! I just took a bath. So while I wait for this to dry down, I'm gonna do a little bit of blush, highlight, bronzer, do a little something on my eyes, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about it. So I am back. As you can see, I finished off the rest of the face. I went ahead and popped on mascara. BTW, I am wearing Highly Rated by Milani. Literally my favorite mascara at the moment. Like, I haven't worn my natural lashes this much in a really long time, and it's all thanks to this little baby right here. I will have it linked down below in case you guys are interested in this mascara. But anyways, back to the foundation. I wanted to zoom you guys out just so that way you can see the foundation in comparison to my neck and my hands. Like, this is an accurate representation of my actual skin color because I'm not self-tanned right now. So I think the foundation matches pretty decent. I wanted it to be like a little bit more yellow just because I feel like my skin pulls a little bit more yellow, but the warm undertones at Morphe were just way warm, so we definitely matched me to more neutral, so I'm not mad at it. One of the biggest recommendations I can give you with this particular foundation is to make sure you properly prep your skin. Like, for me personally, I went in with a moisturizer and a facial oil, and then as you guys saw, I went in additionally with the primer and skin booster by Collab, which added additional hydration to my skin, so that's why it doesn't come off super dry. I also recommend going in with some kind of fixing mist like this. This is the Morphe continuous setting mist, or you can use MAC Fix Plus. I use a buttload of this. Like, I probably spritz my face for 5 seconds 2 to 3 times during this whole entire process. So I do like the way the foundation looks on my skin right now. Full coverage, like flawless, no imperfections whatsoever, and I don't feel like my skin looks too powdery, crusty, or dry at this point in time. But the time right now is 2:11. I'm gonna go out into the world. I'm gonna do some things, run some errands, eat, all that good stuff, and I will touch base with you guys in a little bit to let you guys know how the foundation is holding up on day 1. So it is the end of the night, and I wanted to zoom you guys in super up close into my face to show you guys how the foundation wore throughout the day. I've had this on my face since around 1. It's 9:35 currently, and at this point I'm kind of like itching to take my face off because I've been up since like 5 a.m. this morning. But nonetheless, I think the foundation wore really nicely. We went out into the world, we took Instagram photos. The weather here in Florida, it's not too bad, it's not too hot, and it's also not too humid, so the foundation just stayed in place. It didn't move, it didn't slip and slide, it did not budge. The only area of my face that I will say kind of just like got like a little bit crusty and kind of wore off is right here in my nose area. I'm not sure if you guys can see, but it did get a little bit crusty in that area. I do actually want to take a flash photo so that way you can see how it wore throughout the day with a flash. So let's get the camera out and get it done. Okay, so when I zoom into this photo, I can definitely see that it's kind of like breaking up on my nose a little bit. It's definitely accentuating my pores just a tad. And again, it does have that flashback, which is kind of weird from my face to my neck, but I do think that was a powder. So what I'm actually gonna do is I'm going to wipe this all off. I'm gonna come back tomorrow and I'm gonna put it on a little bit different, and I'm gonna skip out on the powder completely to see if I get the same white cast effect. So I will see you guys all tomorrow. Hey you guys, what's up, what's going on? So I've been wearing the Fluidity foundation on my face for the past 3 days, and I wanted to jump on here and let you guys know how it's holding up so far. Right now it's 4:47. I've had the foundation on my face since about 1 o'clock today, and I will definitely say it's holding up very nicely. Like, I'm not oily, I'm not greasy or anything like that. It's not breaking up. The only area of my face that it's breaking up is like right here, but that's because my eyes like watering because the wind's blowing. Me and Bobito just finished taking pictures. You want to say hey to Bae? Say hey, Bae!
Hey.
Anyways, we are gonna go to the movies tonight, so I'm gonna be wearing this on my face for a little minute, and at the end of the night I'm going to update you guys on how I truly feel about the Morphe Fluidity foundation. So it's been about 6 hours since the last time I spoke to you guys in regards to the foundation. The time right now is 9:22 at night, and I'm getting ready to wash this entire situation off of my face. But before I do that, I really wanted to sit down and let you guys know my final thoughts on the Morphe Fluidity line. Now, this is the only foundation I've worn on my face for the past 3 days, so I definitely know how I feel about it. I will definitely say the coverage is amazing. It's out of this world. It is definitely full coverage. So if you do struggle with acne, blemishes, hyperpigmentation, anything like that, trust me when I tell you this foundation is going to cover every nook and cranny, which is really awesome. I also really like the longevity of the foundation. I feel like it wore really well throughout the day. I've been wearing this on my face since 1 o'clock, so about 8-9 hours give or take, and it hasn't broken up in any area of my face. I will say, however, I do feel it on the skin. It definitely feels like a little bit heavy, like a little bit greasy, but I don't look greasy. So that's a really good thing for me. I do want to point out that this is the only foundation I've worn on my skin for the past 3 days, and my skin, it's not loving it. I'm gonna be completely honest. Like, I have a lot of like breakouts, and they're not like active breakouts where you can kind of like pop them, but they're like little bumps underneath the skin that haven't like completely emerged. Like, they haven't come to the surface. They're very much under the skin, and it just looks like a lot of like clogged pores and a lot of texture really in this area in this area right here. I haven't switched up my primers really. I've been using the same primers I have been using for a minute, and yeah, I'm a little concerned with that aspect of it. Other than that, again, I will say the foundation is really nice. Today I did not use the Morphe Fluidity Filter number 3 powder, and let me just say I had no issues with flashback. So I will definitely say that powder has extreme flashback. So if you guys are going out, gonna be taking photos, whatever the case may be, flash photography, do not wear that face powder on your face because it definitely gives you more so of a white cast. I'm going to insert this photo right here because I did a flash test not using the powder, and as you can see, I have absolutely no flashback. Collab, Set the Stage Ultra Fine Loose Setting Powder. Go pick it up. Sally Beauty, thank me later. As for the concealer, I actually really did like the concealer. It wore beautifully underneath the eyes. It did not crease. It did not budge. And it is really good coverage. So if you guys were thinking about picking that up, I definitely recommend the concealer. I also recommend the foundation. However, like I said, my skin, it just really didn't love it. If I had to rate the foundation on a scale from 1 to 10, I would actually rate it an 8 just because it didn't really work well with my skin. Doesn't make it a bad foundation, and I definitely wanted to make that very clear because I know some people will be like, well, just because I broke you out doesn't mean it's going to break everyone out, and that is absolutely true. It is a really great foundation, however, it just did not work with my skin very well. So I definitely wanted to put that out there in the universe. And with that, I want to give my post notification shout out of the week, and huge shout out to Emily Lynn. She says, "This was an awesome haul. Thank you for doing what you do. Hashtag killing it. Notification squad. Hashtag slaybays." Thank you so much, Emily, for watching my videos. It means the absolute world to me. And huge shout out to you for turning on those post notifications. Now, if you guys want to be featured in my next video, all you have to do is click that bell and leave me a comment down below with the hashtag slaybays. With that, you guys, I don't think I have much else to say except I love you. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video, and I'll be sure to catch you guys all on the next one. Deuces. The outro of the outro. Whoa, your girl needs some Windex. We're gonna pretend like that didn't happen. If you guys still haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure you guys press my face right up here. Check out this video and this video. Trust me when I tell you, I've been dropping heat. At least I think I've been dropping heat. You guys let me know. You be the judge. Drop me a comment on either one of these videos to be featured in my next video. I love you and goodbye.